Hello. A little bit of camera adjusting before we get into our message of the day. Yes, a fair bit of camera adjusting. Gotta get the old queen in there. Okay, should be ready to roll. Got our flag up there. And we'll close off some buttons. The technician hasn't arrived. Invisible in thin air. Hey, it's Beattie here. John Beattie. Still alive. July 8th, 2014. Dinosaur News. Dinosaur News brought to you by the British People's League. How are you today? I'm just about the same. Up and down like a yo-yo. Get enthusiastic that our white people are finally waking up. South Africa, the Boer people are getting together because it looks as if the black empires in South Africa are determined to exterminate the Boers. White genocide at work. Then switch continents to Southern California, where Obama's letting in hundreds of thousands of Mexicans. Can't call them illegal anymore because Obama's letting them in. They're just pouring in. Nothing's stopping them. Of course, people sitting in their cottages and people sitting in their nice little spots in their country homes don't need to worry about any of this. No, it's not bothering them, but what about your great-grandchildren down the road? What about the memory of our ancestors? And even though the Dinosaur News here caters to those of British stock, our British peoples around the globe, we of course respect our cousins from our white history. Go back to Aristotle. There's going to be no more remembrance of Aristotle. Jump to Lord Nelson. Jump to Wolfe. Dickens, Shakespeare. General Smuts for the South African Boer people. All of their heroes. All of the pioneers for California, here we come, right back where we started from. No more visions of that. The Mexican invaders are dressing up in their Aztec outfits. Check what the Aztecs had as a main diet. I'll let you Google that. Try and keep a smiley face while all this is going on. We few who care, we few who have been chosen by someone upstairs who care. You've heard the speech 100 times over. Why do we care? We must be nuts, the few of us. Can't say that for Candor League. They're very serious people. They keep a serious tone. Stability. Chin up and all. Candor in the motherland. C-A-N-D-O-U-R. Candor.org.uk. So no matter how much I wander, you can count on Candor to be firm as the Rock of Gibraltar. I've tried to avoid American white politics for quite some time. It gets me all shook up, as Mr. Elvis would say. Can't keep track of it all, but the invasion by and from Mexico is just wild. And in the supermarkets, try and buy statewide if you can't buy locally. Likewise up here in central Ontario Cottage Country. I try and buy Ontario pears rather than fruits from other areas. And the berries are all from Mexico. Well, let's start using our pocketbooks as a weapon. Boycott Mexican goods as much as you possibly can. But that's so trivial. Yes, here it comes. Political cells. There's only one way to do it. They seem to be doing it in South Africa. The Boers are connecting with one another in cell structures. We've got a couple of good nibbles recently in central Ontario. The studio here is sort of central east. Has two political cell structures. Not more than 9 people. If we get enough political cell structures legal, then we can connect in a positive way, preparing for what? Well, I guess the only immediate Target would be a legal march on Ottawa and the capital cities. I can't say that for the Boers. It's more extended there. The machetes are being used by the enemies of the white man, carving people up. It's really difficult to keep these shows going, to keep an enthusiastic theme going. The only enthusiasm that I can come up with are the two prongs. The Boers are fighting back, getting organized, and a fellow in the United States named Advo, A-D-V-O, we'll just call him Advo, short for advocate. This scholarly gentleman appears on different white blog shows, especially on the Rense Radio Network, R-E-N-S-E Radio Network. I'm not going to link it up for people to make it easy. Those on the blind list know that I respect you, or you wouldn't be on the blind list, but I'm sort of talking for people who like it the easy way all the time. No, you do some looking up. Rense Radio Network, R-E-N-S-E Radio Network. You'll see Don Black's show. So this Advo fellow, he's one of the best speakers the white race has got today. I can tell you that right now. He and Don Black are paralleled. But Advo has the freedom to move around different networks, whereas Don Black is sort of committed to the Rense Radio Network. Again, Advo's free to move around, circulate, and he does so on different blog shows. White, I wouldn't call them underground, but they're not that well known to the public. You've got to hear this man. He's got it all to a T. Everything I surface in common day language, Advo hits with historical facts. He's got a booming voice. And if you out there for the first time have heard of this Advo, check it out on Rense Radio Network. If you wish to get in touch with Advo, he is pleased that you can get in touch through us. Email britishcanada@gmail.com. britishcanada@gmail.com. Then we'll get in touch with Advo. You leave the message that you would like him to appear on a certain blog show, and he'll do her. He's available 24 hours a day. Semi-retired professional gentleman. We've got to promote those in our camp who are tops, because only the top is going to save us, those who are really skilled. There are thousands upon thousands out there fed up. Well, we've got to get organized into political cells, or tune into this Advo, see what he has to say. I'm doing all I can at my end. Now, since last November, I'd say the donations have averaged about $70 a month, up until a couple of months ago, that is. I guess the summer weather, people just aren't on the internet as much. Well, the invasion still continues. The black terrorism in South Africa still continues. It doesn't stop for the summer weather. And to be frank, I can't continue to take the bit of money out of my pension, which is pretty peanuts. You can imagine all the years of activism, I haven't been able to earn what you would call a fat pension. I just have the bare minimum pension, and I know many listeners have. You don't want to hear the crying. Well, if someday Beattie's internet's off the air altogether, you're going to know why. I cannot afford the $70, the internet high speed, and the web page, and then $15 for the server. So $85 a month keeps things rolling here. But when the phone bill builds up from Bell Canada, it provides the basics for all this. The phone bill adds up. Well, and I guess we're off the air. There's a few people who have donated. Well, the same few cannot continue to be the main donators. If you're enjoying these shows, and we have quite a few subscribers, etc., you haven't donated, please do so. no matter how small the amount. Click in the donate button. Or mail. On our home page, the mailing address is quite simple, quite clear. Just, cover up a bill in a nice sheet of paper and seal the envelope carefully. I don't like to ask. I don't like to ask at all. We just put a new roof, and don't ask me how I gathered that money up. I had to give $900 down payment to keep the studio here, because let me put it this way. If Beattie tried to broadcast from a landlord premises where I didn't own the spot, where I lived, that wouldn't last long. Landlords get nervous. Oh, John, you better not be getting me involved in any controversy. So, well, just imagine if you were doing these broadcasts from your apartment, from your condominium, or from your home. Think about it. I'm not looking for self-attention, but I'm saying how serious it is. I can't continue to take it out of my pension money, and I can't repeat another winter like last winter. So those are the two spots on the globe right now, the hot spots, South Africa and California. And Don Advo, that's his first name, Don, I just go by Advo for short. He's not leaving. That's where he had his profession most of his life. He's not leaving. And then there's a sidekick, a caller to the Rents Network shows named Dave in Southern California too. He says, where are we going to run to next? It was a dynamite show on, I guess it was yesterday, the 7th of July. A dynamite show on Rents Radio Network. Click in the Don Black Show. The second hour. There's 2 hours of the shows, and I didn't catch the first hour. Well, I'm prejudiced towards Advo because he's tops. And what a show for 1 hour. Laying the cards on the table, how desperate our situation is, the invasion of Southern California. I mean, we're not talking 10 or 20 people here, we're talking thousands. And then the local people are finally getting upset and protesting. Well, Mr. Obama is sending in federalized marshals to stop the white people from protesting against the invasion. What does that tell you? You know, when some people in the right wing a few years ago, wasn't that long ago, were saying that, well, the marshals are all going to be federalized in the local jurisdictions, and nobody would believe it. They'd just say that the white right are all nuts. This isn't going to happen. It's happening. It's happening right now. The only thing, hopefully, is showdown time. The feds do seem to back off down in America with that Bundy Ranch business out in Nevada a couple of months ago. The feds still haven't come in and shot everybody up yet, because the organizations, the patriot organizations, the militias, they came through and they showed up. They put their lives on the line. Now some militias are heading for the border with Mexico to assist. Advo is very optimistic that the white man, white women will still wake up just in time. Well, there's a teeny speck of opportunity, a teeny window of opportunity, very teeny. What shocks me is the contacts I made with Boer patriots in South Africa. They're clamoring for contacts in the outside world, getting ready for the big storm that's coming. It'll be a violent situation in South Africa, and that violent situation will be repeated in California. I too believe as Advo. Actually, he picks my spirits up, that there's just a slight window of opportunity that we can save our race. Can you imagine sitting here talking about saving our race? one old guy sitting in the woods of cottage country, Minden, Ontario, Canada, talking about saving our race, working in unison with our fellow patriots, ADVO, and our South African friends, the Boers, and then the Patriots in the Motherland, Candor League. And it's just unbelievable to me that I'm sitting here saying these things, that I would have anything to do with the salvation of the memory of our ancestors, Lord Nelson, General Wolfe, Sir Isaac Brock in Canada. All of our history. Down the tubes, folks, down the tubes. I get hell from some for repetition. What else is there to say? I don't see any magic person coming down on a white horse to do it all for us. We few have to do it. Remember a couple of years, 3 years ago, we tried to organize a big rally here. I told the darts people that you're it. If you don't do something, we're all finished. And they were shocked. What do you mean we're it, John? The few people that know the score are it. There's no. Think of in your condominium, your apartment building, your neighbor, how often you've tried, and people don't give a damn. As I've said in previous shows, the young people are all at strip bars, having fun. But the formerly comfortable whites in Southern California, they're getting the message when a sea of Mexicans is pouring across the border. So they finally have hit the streets. I agree with that vote just in time. There's just enough whites that are not married into the multi-cults, just enough whites that have the gumption and the know-how. They just need the guts and the spirit to reclaim the lands that our ancestors conquered. What else have we got for a couple of little notes today? I pretty well covered it all. So again, ADVO, you want to contact them, do it through us, britishcanada@gmail.com, britishcanada@gmail.com. So we'll do the dinosaur news, the title of these shows, for we dinosaurs that are still out there, as often as I am inspired. I'm not going to put it down to the dollar donations equal a number of shows, but let's put it this way. I'll feel more obligated when donations are coming in. I'm not being selfish. I'm only one man. I mean, how much could I be expected to do? I'm sticking my face on the line. I'm sticking my building on the line. And, you know, and the roof payments, I have to pay $75 a month on the roof payments, or the studio wouldn't be here if there was a river of rain coming through the roof. We had to beat off the insurance company. So I only go in these crying jags, about 1 out of every 4 videos. So you're unlucky enough today to hear the crying jag. It has to be done. I've thought of 100 ways I could continue without having to appeal for donations. So small donations are much appreciated. And you know they're appreciated. So there's the red ensign, our official flag, still flying on the memory fields of France. Harper is doing the best he can under citizenship laws. Already some Hindus are complaining about having to stay in the country for a certain period of time. Just check up Harper, the Prime Minister of Canada. Go under Canadian immigration laws, etc. The Conservative Party is trying. They're trying to tighten up the looseness to the best they can without being called racist. So in the gap, to fill the gap for the time being before the real trouble hits the fan, Harper has got the federal Conservatives, the federal government of Canada. Okay, I'm not here as a representative of the federal government of Canada. I don't think they'd appreciate that anyway. So that's the scoop. News isn't pleasant. We can still turn the tide if we all do our part. So try and do your part, and we'll be at you the next opportunity that we can. Goodbye for now.